So we are live. Hello, everyone. So how are you? I hope you're well. So today I will be your host. But before we start, let's check out if the stream works. So can you write me some comments if you can hear me, if you can see me, and everything works just fine? So hello, everyone, first, and welcome to Webzurich edition 56. It's hard to believe that we are doing already the 56th edition. Yeah. Who are we, first of all? So we are a community based in Zurich who organizes events around web technologies. We welcome all people who are working with web. It doesn't mean who you are, like maybe you're a web designer, web developer, anyone, you are just welcome to come to us, join our meetup, and give a talk. Yeah. So before we start, I will show you just through some slides and tell you what to do today and how you can support us. So basically, tweet about us with hashtag Webzurich. We always like to see new comments on social media about us, new talks, new proposals, new ideas, everything which you find interesting in the web community. Just jump on and share it with us. So, as I said, we are a community for web developers and generally for people who are interested in web. We support newcomers, we help giving talks, we help finding new jobs. We have a really nice job channel in our Slack, which you can join. You can find the link right here. Let me make it bigger so everyone can see it. If you join the Slack, which you can find on our website, you will see jobs about new job opportunities in Zurich and surrounding area. Also, make sure you subscribe to Webzurich Meetup page, where we always post the latest news and announce the latest meetups. We do this meetup actually every month. It's hard to believe, but every month, 3 talks, at least 2 talks, and we are running now for over 5 years. And everything of this would not be possible without you. That's why join us, talk to us. You are making the community. So what's next? We have some rules, right? So first of all, be nice to each other. Everyone is welcome. We speak mostly English because like this is the most common language, and we all can understand this language. Everyone has participated to give a talk. Like you found something new about, I don't know, CSS variables, or how to do the latest features in JavaScript, or like what is possible on the web. Just join us, and we would like to see your talk, or maybe just share it in the chat. So normally we gather together in lovely Zurich in the Impact Hub, but unfortunately now it's not possible. So now our new home is our Slack and YouTube. So hello everyone again, and nice to see you all. I think we have like so many people here from different cities. Maybe you can write in the chat where you're from. So this would be nice, because last time we had like folks from Korea, from South Korea. It was like amazing. So, and make sure, read our code of conduct. Yes, we have rules, and we usually watch everyone closely. So be nice to each other and don't harass anyone. This is our lovely team. Without this team, it would not be possible. They help organize this monthly event, and this is so awesome to have you. Thank you. So this event is, well, it's an open source event, or better to say, like, we don't make any money from this, and we rely on sponsoring. So if your company wants to support us, give us some money for drinks and snacks, or maybe like for web equipment or like webcams. We always here for this little money for your change. So we have a Patreon webpage where you can send us money or just talk to us. So today's sponsors are Rockstar Recruiting and GraphCMS, and I will have a short introduction to rockstars in a minute. So today we will have no after party, unfortunately, and I don't know about the next date when we will make the next event. So just subscribe on the Meetup page and you will see the next announcement. So, and before we start, I would like to invite Kieran to talk about the latest job from Rockstar Recruiters. So give me a second.
Hello everyone, Kieran here from Rockstar, wishing you all a healthy start to 2021 and looking forward to tonight's talks. Before we start things, Rockstar are coming to you with 3 new positions in the Zurich area that we believe to be of some interest. So they're all front-end engineering roles, I would say acceptable for a mid to senior level engineer. 2 of which are of a similar, I would say, status and clientele base. So both with very large, well-known insurance companies, both requiring German of a C1 to native level, and of course, business fluent English. These positions are centered around the development in Angular. So if you are interested in or have experience with, then that would be great. On the back end, they use Java. Some experience with Java programming is advantageous, but not a prerequisite. I would say, considering these are available for mid to senior level engineers, the budget can vary somewhat, but on the upper end, we're looking around 120 to 130K. So to give you an idea. Now, the other position that we have in mind is a React-focused role. This is for a small boutique software consultancy in the Zurich area, very central, in fact. Now, they have a variety of clients, so from like medium to small enterprises to some really well-known Swiss brands. And they're looking for a React engineer skilled with Redux and so on, but also to have some interest in doing some full stack development with, of course, Node.js and or Golang. This is a small team of, I would say, talented engineers that are looking for someone to come in and make an impact quite immediately. All of these positions are, available for interview, and of course, we can provide some further information as requested. So, yeah, if you want to learn any more firsthand, or if you think that anyone that you know could be interested in these positions, we're always welcome to meeting new people. And of course, we're always here to help with whatever you need in terms of hiring as well. So wishing everyone well, looking forward to the talks, and have a great start to 2021. Cheers.
So thank you, Kieran. And now I would like to invite everyone to the stage who will participate today and give our awesome talks. Let's say hello to, first, Fabrice, Stephanie, TB, and Yuko. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
So we have today 4 speakers. Isn't that awesome? So, and we will have like fantastic talks. So stay until the end, and you will be motivated. But before we start, I wanted to introduce Fabrice and TB with an awesome talks. I still don't know how to do it. And it's all about the dark mode. And I see it on every website, and they will tell us how to do it. So stage is yours. So. You are live.
So, hi. Today we would like to share with you the journey of the process we went through to set up a dark and light mode with CSS Variables, and how we struggled with Material UI. My name is Fabrice. I'm a front-end developer working at Tripole, and if I don't code, I'm out on adventure with my 3-year-old daughter.
Hi, I'm Thibaut. I'm also a software developer at Tripole, and if I'm not coding, I'm mostly doing music-related stuff.
So at this point, we were working on this web application for a year already. The requirements were that it's supported by Safari and Chrome, and the libraries we were using were React, CSS, and Material UI. The SCSS and the CSS variables were included in the project already, but mostly for the designers. So the material UI styling and the CSS were completely mixed, which caused lots of inconsistency in the design.
All right, for those of you who haven't heard about CSS variables, we're going to give you a quick refresher. CSS variables are variables that are native to most modern browsers, which means that you don't need a precompiler like you would for Sus variables or similar things. And because they're native to modern browsers, it's also possible to change them during runtime. So it's pretty advanced, and you could say this is kind of how it feels to work with CSS variables. Also, Fabrice mentioned Material UI. Quick introduction to Material UI as well. It's not the same thing as Material Design, but it's an implementation of Material Design, and it's a UI framework or a UI library built for React. All right. Where we needed to go. Our client, for a quite big project, wanted a dark and a light mode. We've already been working on it, as Fabrice already mentioned. So we needed to find a solution that worked with our current stack, and also we needed the possibility to add some further modes. So not just switch between two modes, but also maybe add a mode for people with a color blindness or other accessibility themes.
First of all, we want to thank you to our designers who prepared this wonderful page for us, especially Gina, so we can demonstrate when we change values or even if we break it. After doing lots of research and reading the docs of Material UI more carefully, we figured out that it has a built-in and working dark mode. And have a look at it. It works just like a charm. All you have to do is to change the value in the palette, the type of the value to dark. And that's it. It's supposed to work magically. So let's see if this works on our page. All you have to do here in the palette is type in the type to dark, and then it's supposed to be our dark mode. We have a toggle here, a switch, and let's see what happens. Nothing. Well, this would have been too easy. I guess if this would have been so easy, we could stop here talking and that would have been the talk. But let's have a closer look to Material UI. Material UI comes with two default palettes, a dark and light one. Whenever you set a manually set a value and override the palettes, then the value will be overwritten in the dark and the light palette. The colors are not recalculated as we were expecting it from Material UI. If we would remove all the colors from the palette, the dark mode would work. But of course, we don't want to do this. So this is of no help for us. Actually, we don't really know what the benefit of the built-in dark mode is. Of course, it's set up, the theme is set up very fast. And the things like hover, for example, they will behave differently in the dark or in the light mode. But yet you have to use the default values, especially the colors, to make the dark mode work. So for us, it was a little bit confusing because the docs from Material UI refer quite often to the docs of Material Design. So our designers, they read lots about Material Design, and they really loved the point that you could style a color-shaded list and translate it to dark mode only by shifting the numbers. And with that in mind, we really expected Material UI to recalculate our colors, the same algorithm. But Material UI, it does make some recalculation, but you don't really have any control over them. These were the issues we were facing with material.
All right, next we started looking for a CSS-based solution. First, we had another look at our setup and went through every technology that we were using. And now you might remember how we said in the beginning that CSS variable values are changeable in runtime. Well, so we started by adding a data attribute to our root element and assigned it a different value depending on which theme was currently selected. Depending on this data attribute, we assigned different values to the specific variables, which looked something like this. So here you can see on the left side what the kind of default themes looks like, and on the right side you can see what the dark theme looks like, and the same variables are just overwritten with different values. So this looked something like this. Not much happens, but as you can see, everything that is plain CSS or plain SCSS switches the colors depending on our toggle. So that was a great success.
So back to MUI. We know that the CSS variables work like a charm. And wouldn't it be great if we could add these CSS variables to the palette? But no. Unfortunately, the internal calculation of Material UI needs hex or RGBA values. Those two values were actually comes to those two values where the calculation happens, and this is the get contrast content, the get contrast text, and the augmented color. At least this is what we figured out so far. So let's recap. We use CSS variables, and they work like a charm. Material UI does not support CSS variables, but it has a built-in dark mode, but it's of no help. So what could we do then? JSON to the rescue. Yes. So JSON, this is the easiest way to share colors in SCSS and JavaScript, simply by storing them in JSON files. Of course, we had two files, a dark and a light colors JSON. All we had to do for the CSS variables was to passing the colors, or better said, the CSS variables could grab the values of the JSON file by mapget, and that's it. We don't have to do anything else. For MUI, it was a little bit more complicated. We had to convert the palette to a function, check whether it's dark or light, and then pass the colors to the palette. And to make sure that the colors of the dark mode would not override colors which in the dark mode don't exist, we had to destruct the light colors and merge them with the dark colors. And with all that, we're supposed to have a working app. Look at this. Now we have a working dark and light mode with CSS variables and Material UI.
All right, so time for a conclusion. Well, pretty obviously, we're quite biased what we think of this solution because, well, we wrote it. So we'd really, really appreciate it if you would give us your feedback. You can check out our code and the examples on this link. If you don't want to type that link by hand, I'm going to send it in the Slack workspace later on. Yeah, so what we like. really like that it's changeable in runtime. So that means we kept all the functionality we had before. Our designers can still change certain values in the inspector in the browser, so they can see what impact it has if they change colors, for example. And it's also really easy to handle. We have all our colors in one place, stored in a JSON file, so we really don't repeat ourselves. And it's also really easy to set up. It's really easily added to projects that already use CSS variables, which actually leads us to what we don't like. Their whole solution is only applicable to CSS variable based projects. If you use any other kind of variables for your styling, for example, sus or less, well, you can't really use our solution. Or if you can, please prove us wrong. Also, CSS variables aren't supported on all browsers. For example, Internet Explorer doesn't support them, and for us it worked out because we didn't need to support Internet Explorer anyways, but it's just an important thing to remember if you want to try that out for yourself.
We were thinking about an alternative if, as TB mentioned already, you have a browser which does not support CSS variables, and we thought a good alternative would be Tailwind. But yet Tailwind handles the dark mode by prefixing the classes, and this gets quite messy and wouldn't be quite hard to maintain. And maybe there would be a possibility to combine those two things. Like you could use Tailwind with the micro classes and override them with the data attribute on the root element. That's it actually from our side. I think I really like to do this talk and to share our learnings with you. Yeah.
Are there any questions?
Let's see if we have some question in the chat. Chat is somehow delayed, but questions start rolling. I would just ask, like, really, like, every website needs to have a dark mode today. I think it's a must, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. How should we deal with websites which do not have dark mode yet?
That's a big question. You mean if it's your personal website, for example, that doesn't have a dark mode yet and it's built on old technology, or old in big hyphens, old technology that doesn't use CSS variables, or if it's just a website you stumble upon?
It was an open question.
An open question. Well, I think it's yeah, it's interesting because we also thought like there has to be a solution that doesn't require CSS variables, and probably if we hadn't been using CSS variables already, we might have ended up in some completely different place and had given you guys and girls a completely different talk tonight. So yeah, I mean it's an interesting thought. There has to be another solution, as you said. Maybe something which goes in the direction of Tailwind. I think that what Fabrice mentioned before probably would be a pretty good solution. So you wouldn't really reassign different values to variables, but reassign different values to microclasses. Yeah, I don't know. Fabrice, do you have any ideas?
I would say the big question was in our solution when we were working on this application, we were looking how the whole construction was. So the architecture was very leading us to this solution. So you have to look in what place you are right in that point when you do when you have the decision and decide you have to go in to make a dark mode or a light mode, and then you really have to break it all down to decide what would be the best way to go. For us, this worked, but maybe for someone else wouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we just got a new comment, like there's a Firefox on iOS and dark mode override, so it would basically force you to use dark mode. But I think the forcing like looks sometimes like really awkward, right? So it has to be carefully designed. You cannot just put like make everything black or invert the screen. Like, it doesn't work. So,
I think it was Source Tree that did that when they first came out with a dark mode. They just inverted every color, and we're lucky that we have some great designers in our company, which they had some spare time to actually put their effort into designing a great dark mode. But that's an important point as well. We really learned a lot about designing a dark mode, and there's some good guides out there that help you understand what actually makes sense and what doesn't.
Our designer really helped the docs of material design, not UI, material design, because there it's so good explained why colors work and why they work in this way. But it makes it is a little bit dangerous if you start to use material UI and you think you're using material design kind of way, and then you get proof that it's only an implementation and not really the same. Or an adaptation.
Well done, and thank you for the great talk.
Well, thanks for listening.
And
thank you very much.
So join us in the Slack. We will chat afterwards, like still, and exchange some experience on dark mode. But before we move on, like we talked about websites, and I think every website today uses some kind of CMS. So you need to update some data. And in the next talk, we will learn about something about another CMS, about new CMS. And Mirko, hello, Mirko.
Hello together.
Mirko will introduce us to new CMS, and you will tell us everything about it. Stage is yours.
Hey, hello, my name is Mirko Eberlein. I'm talking today about Clouded CMS. You see Clouded CMS webpage here. I have a small presentation. I will start it now. Okay, you all see my presentation. Clouded CMS is a serverless CMS based on AWS and working only with microservices. My name is Mirko Eberlein. I'm working as senior developer at the Webgate Consulting AG. I overjump all this stuff. You can ask me later over my contact data. If you want to contact me, you can it easily. Clouded CMS is an open source serverless CMS to manage and publish serverless websites in your AWS account. That means it's 100% running with microservice. You only pay by usage. You don't have to buy any server, don't have to buy any hosting. You only pay if the user use your website. And it's very, very cheapy. US automatically distributed in cache worldwide. That means we activate AWS CloudFront over our CMS, and so we have no auto-scaling gaps worldwide. And this make it very, very fast. How working Clouded CMS is very easy. All templates and all things will stored in a AWS DynamoDB, who's also only pay by usage, and we're using Lambda functions to render the pages if you publish them. That means all stuff you see are static web pages. No one is loaded live from any database. The user sees always static web pages. And so the user has only access to the main production bucket. This is a S3 bucket who stores the web page data. And so you have a clear difference between production bucket, test bucket, and important admin bucket. That means from your web page, nobody can think about your admin address, and there's no chance to hack your admin account over your web page. In WordPress, you can open WordPress page admin and you can make some attacks. This is not possible in Cloudy CMS, and CloudFront is using for custom domain name and SSL. We start developing Cloudy CMS at the WebGate Consulting AG at end of 2019. We have many projects with big customers working on serverless applications. And we think that if we build serverless applications, we have also the possibility to give our customers the web pages easily CMS working with microservices and serverless. And so we start developing Cloudy CMS, and very fast we had the first demo. And now I have enough of presentation. I show you some other stuff. This is the second site running with Cloudy CMS, the web page from Cloudy CMS himself. You have documentation, download, and all this stuff. The first page ever we created with Cloudy CMS is our web page on WebGate Consulting AG. And now we have a marketplace on our web page. There you can download website templates and components from Cloudy CMS. If you have interested and create your own components, you can contact us. You can share that here. All stuff we do and the CMS self is open source. You can see all the code on GitHub. We have also a Cloudy CMS CLI, so you can command line interface using to create web pages. And this brings me to the next level. I created some small page today. Welcome to Cloudy CMS live demo about winner and loser of the pandemic in my home. And I can show you the small site. I have winner and loser of the pandemic. My dog Sirius is a winner. The advantage for them is often go to walk with my alpha, that's me, a lot of strokes, and always see my family. And disadvantages, he has also go out today when it's rain very long because I have to make some sport. And the loser is my computer. Sorry for that. The only advantage is that he get always all updates, nothing more. He has a lot of work, extra night shifting in Night City. Amputate my SSD. Yes, I have to change the SSD last year. It's fired. Yeah? And he is branded out because the high electricity bill. Okay, this is a small web page I've created today, 1 hour ago. I started and create this small page completely. How I do it, this is Cloudy CMS. Back to the last talk, we can always switch to dark and light mode. I prefer dark mode, okay. This is the main page from Cloudy CMS, and if you are here, you see the different parts. You have pages, the publication key, file explorer, layouts, layout blocks, and also on. We have a complete documentation of this stuff on our web page, and you can read it. I show you some things. We have here layouts. I created 2 layouts, a Webzurich amateur template and Webzurich pro template. The difference between these two templates is very, very easy. This is the Pro template. All pages we create with the PUC language. It's come after JavaScript Jade. Comes PUC. PUC is the new name for Jade, and this is a simplify mode from HTML. So you creating your web page with PUC. We have also the documentation and the links to PUC in our web page. Is very easy. You don't need any brackets. You can give attributes in round brackets, and then you have the different parts of your web page, and you working like YAML. You go 2 spaces between to make the tree decision. We have here an include. That means you have the possibility to modular your web page. We have here a HTML header, and these are my layout blocks. HTML header. Here have all stuff from the HTML header. We have full examples. You can download our code and see how we build some solutions and different stuff to learn it better. We have also a footer and the main navigation. And here's one improvement from Cloudy CMS. You have the possibility to calculate things on the rendering function. That means you create your web page, and then you say, yes, I publish it now. And the moment you publish the web page, we will run these functions and create from this data the live page who will publish. It means some seconds and the new page is live. Okay, how show this in the page? I have here 2 pages, index HTML and winner and loser template. I go to the index, I give the page title and path. The main home template has always index HTML. The description of the web page, you can here add keywords. I don't do that now. And here can you choose your template. I chose the template, see what you get. And here I have see what you get doc body. This is the template I created here. A main container doc body. I created this variable, and this is this variable, and this variable has the type container. You can see it here in layouts. Webzurich Pro template. It's a rich text and rich text editor. See what you get and the body. And this is the same like in my Visual Studio. And so if I go on my live demo, I can change things here. I can say it's nice to be again here. And I can say, yes, that's what I want. And I push it on the test bucket. And then I have the test web page refresh, and there's it now. In the moment I published, all the content will not new be rendered, and I have a static file. All files will stored in the bucket. You can go to your buckets every time, and you can also load up stuff directly. I go now to the test bucket, and here you see I created my index HTML file. Okay. And this index HTML is my main page. If you show the code, you see it's automatically compressed HTML at the end, and here we are. This all will created on rendering. You have here the HTML header template, and later the navigation template who comes in, the navigation block, then later the layout block, and there in the main template the variable doc body. Now this is the Pro template because you see what you get, and you notice customers, you broken that always. They take Word documents, copy paste the stuff from the Word document in your web page, and then nothing working, and you are crazy. You can also using live pictures here. You can always get to your site images here to your CDN, Content Delivery Network bucket, and there you can always choose some pictures and can bring in pictures here live. You see what you get. And here we can also use these images. We can also direct upload some images. You have different places. If I only save on the web page, will nothing change. If I only publish to test, production will not improved from this update. Only if you bring it to production, it's live and seeing on the web page you provided. And the second template I created is a small advantage template. It's a more specially for the user. In the amateur template, I built a small template to give the user a hand to how he have to work with my web page. And here I can explain all the things. I have here a headline template, and in this headline template, if the user say, yes, I need a headline here, he can say, need I headline 1, 2, or 3. He can give the headline text, and this is the text you see here. If you change this to headline 2 and close it, publish, test, then we have only a H2 headline. And so the user has not so many things that he can do further. If you go to the next step, I have here an image on the left side and a text with advantages and disadvantages on the right side. And Zeus is a winner, a small headline. And here have you the win-lose supermodel. Supermodel is my dog because he becomes very often photographed. And here you have the headline. This text here is only for intern using. I show it later. And here the advantages, disadvantages, and here's the image what you chose, and always the alternate image text. You can giving for everything on the website own variables. You can giving different types of variables. For example, if I go here in some template, I can say, yes, I need a new variable, and then we have different types. We have text, text area, rich text, drop-down list, checkbox, object container, image selection, number, and so on. Checkbox, for example, you can say, if this checkbox is checked, then we show this part of the web page and render it or not. We have some examples for that in our templates. Okay, go to the next section. I go show you some more, and to it we have a file explorer. Okay, and the file explorer, first you have here settings, and in your settings you can create some upload stuff. Image resize profiles. I open. And here you can say if the user upload an image, it will be automatically resides in this folder with this format and this size. And here I make a WebP format with the image quality 85 and resize, give a special suffix name. The resize width and resize height empty means that the picture will automatically get the auto height to the width parameter. And so I upload one image and all auto resizing make the application for me. Okay. And if I am the file explorer and go to my CDN, Content Delivery Network, and go to site, and I have here images, but I can also do my own folder wherever I want. I can create folder. I can directly upload data. I can upload PDF documents for download and so on. And here I can upload and resize images. I chose my upload converter, lazy load, and then I open some files. I go now here, iCloud Photos. Yay, I have many photos here. My daughter. I go a big picture here. It's very old, but all fine. I upload this photo. And you can choose more than one photo. Now I have here the photo and here the resizes of the photo. And if I open it, I can show and have the other format in WebP with size 600 width. Okay. Okay. There are a lot more of settings, but we have not so much time. The installation of this CMS is very easy. We have 2 installation videos on our webpage. You can see it. We have one in a good old East German dialect spoken by me. And then we have a miracle voice wonder in our company, Talia Fox, who speak all the installation guide in English. Yes, you can choose. If you have any questions, you can contact me. I'm happy to be here, and I hope I will return next time and hold another speak. Thank you for your attention.
Yeah, thank you for your talk. It was very interesting. And we had one question from the audience, and let me bring it in. So Michael asks, since it's a static pages only, how does it compare to other offering like Netlify, Cloudflare, and Pages? Or Cloudflare Pages?
I think you can Netlify and Cloudflare also bring in at your CDN, but CloudFront make the same. CloudFront is from service from AWS, and you can at the installation path you can automatically connect CloudFront in the installation. It's the same like Cloudflare and Netlify. Also, you have the possibility, if you're working in a small company, to automatically make single sign-on to your Microsoft accounts. If you company using Microsoft, have all your Microsoft login in Office 365, you can use that logins for Cloudy CMS admin tool.
Okay, thank you. So do we have any more questions from the audience? Let me see. So the second question also from Michael. You mentioned that it's pay-as-you-go pricing model. It is only data plane or also control plane calls?
It's so you pay by usage and data, but the costs are very, very small. For example, we have over 1,000 views on the Cloudy CMS webpage per month. I think 5,000 or 6,000 at this time. And the costs for this traffic are $2 at month, also nothing. And it's still nothing, I think, to 100,000 visits is no problem. Then later, if you have very, very much traffic, you pay a little bit more, but not really the same like you have to share some instance server to handle all the traffic, because there's you have the full control, traffic control from AWS and CloudFront, and you don't think about traffic. It's absolute cheaply.
Okay, Thank you very much. I think
we only earn if we sell it to our customers. It's an open source project. We get nothing for the CMS, and we also earn nothing with the hosting of these web pages because it's so cheap. We get no consumption for it. It's absolutely. Maybe we need Click or something other big page to get some credits.
Yeah, and as I see, Michael just wrote, now it's even cheaper because like AWS reduced the prices, right? So
here is one thing important. The first 1 million milliseconds in AWS Lambda are for free in the free tier of AWS, and you never reach that because the Lambda run only when you enter the web page. That means if you want, you have 1 million times run the publish button to leave the free tier pricing. Now you can imagine how big it must be if you really have to pay for the Lambda functions. It's not possible. We never reach it at any customer.
Okay, fantastic. Also, one more thing before we go to the next talk. Martin has figured that, let me show you the website, that you are already in the top list. So you gave already 3 talks at Webzurich. Thank you for this. Big applause. And also regarding the money, thank you for all the sponsoring you did for us. We would like to see a first talk from you in the future. So
I hope so.
Yeah, and you have to be motivated to give so many talks, and that's why we just go over to the next talk from Stephanie. Say hello to Stephanie. So hi.
Hello, everyone.
So yeah, and as we saw, like, he was motivated. He gave 3 talks already at Webzurich. And today you will talk about motivation to us and how to stay motivated, or maybe how to do something what you haven't done before. So the stage is yours, Stephanie. And one more thing before we start. Before we started, I've asked where everyone is from. So we have folks from Berlin. We have folks from Germany, from different cities from around the world. And you are joining us today from Hamburg, right?
Exactly. Hamburg, Germany. Yes.
So nice connection, Hamburg, Zurich. So big applause for Stephanie, and the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. So hello, everybody. Welcome to my talk on Webzurich on this early Friday evening. And Alexei, again, thank you very much for having me. So my name is Stephanie Flügge, and I am an advisor and performance coach from Hamburg in Germany. And so thanks for staying tuned. If you've been tuned in so far, it's been difficult stuff for me actually to listen to, but let me try to make it worthwhile for you to listen to me for like 15 minutes. And I'm going to be promising it's not going to be boring, right? It's going to be really interesting for you. So keep paper and pen ready because I don't have any slides. I will be talking to you. And of course, I will send you some stuff and information if you require. But if you write it down, you can actually start working in a quick and dirty coaching session in 15 minutes. So let's get started. Alexei contacted me because on LinkedIn because he watched my video, which was about motivation. Make sure you hook up with me on LinkedIn. I do a lot of stuff, and it might be beneficial for you. And also, I can ask you, I can answer questions in between, whichever ones you might have. And he said to me that IT can be very demanding. I mean, if it's a long shot, actually, because the internet is actually, overtaking itself every day. And you need to keep up the motivation to get better or to improve of whatever you are able to do, capable of doing every single day. So your motivation can be, quite fragile and moody. So one day it's on the top and one day it's on the low. And in order to keep that a little bit steady, there is a technique that I will give to you today. Teaching is probably the wrong word, but let's talk about this. So understandable, when you start working in the IT, and if you're a beginner and you're doing a vocational training or an education, and you probably will be studying for just about 3 years until you are finally able to call yourself, for instance, a developer, to make it easy for me, because it's not all front or back-end developer or full stack or whatever. And if you're doing both, if you're working already and studying on top of everything, so you have like a double workload, it's even going to be more difficult to keep up the motivation, because you will be tired and you will be discouraged and you will be thinking, what the hell am I doing this for? But again, you know, there's a little technique that I will go through with you, and I'm sure it's going to be very beneficial for you. So you make sure you follow it. So let's start. What is motivation? How do you get it? How do you keep it? Of course, there is an official definition of what motivation is, but I'm not going to bore you with that. So for me, motivation is a force. It's a force within you that makes you do the things you want to do, makes you reach a goal that you've set, makes you want to accomplish something that you've started, makes you want to reach something, achieve something that you've been striving for. To just look into the eyes of people when you say, oh God, this guy or this girl is really motivated. You know, the eyes are shining, the face is bright, they're strong, they're full of energy. This is pure motivation. So why am I doing this? I actually got the idea from the Vendée Globe. Some of you might know, people from Switzerland maybe not, because you don't have the big ocean right around the corner. But it's the toughest. It's the Mount Everest of sailing. So they're sailing around the world single-handed in at least 80 days. And it was the winner was actually came in on Wednesday after 80 days. And it is an incredibly demanding race around the world, all the oceans and horrifying weather, and you're all by yourself. So how do you do that? How do you keep the motivation over 80 days all by yourself, nonstop? What is the trick? And it's really quite simple. The trick is all of them, every single one of them, have their own personal goal. So that's really all it is. They have an own personal goal. And so when you start doing something, you need to set a goal. So when you start studying and you start wanting to become a front-end or a back-end developer, let's stick to back-end so it makes it easy for me. So you want to become a back-end developer. You are setting a goal for something that is probably 3 years ahead. So in order to stay motivated to reach that goal that is 3 years ahead, you need to be quite sure that this is what you want to do. So when you set that goal, and I'm asking you, you know, what is your goal? And you say, well, my goal is to become a back-end developer. I say, all right, write it down on a piece of paper by hand. So your goal is you want to become a back-end developer. To make it a little easier, I would ask you to be a little bit more specific, you know, because if you say I want to become a back-end developer, it's more fact because you've already decided on becoming a back-end developer because you've taken up the studies. But if I ask you, can you be more specific? I would expect you to say maybe something like, if I think about it, I think I would like to become the best backend developer in the area of Zurich. And I say, okay, this is much better because you actually get a grip and you get feel to that goal. So if I go even further and I said, okay, you want to narrow it down a little bit more, you might want to say, you know, there's this one program or this one computer language that I really want to learn. And I really think that this will be something that will last over the next 5 or 6 years and will be the top of the notch program. I say, okay, so you want to become the best backend developer in Zurich for the program XYZ. So here's your goal. You got it. You got the goal and you're sure you want to do this. So after you've written down that goal, I'm going to ask you 4 questions, and they all start with a W. The first is, why do you want to reach that goal? First thing you're going to say is like, I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting to be in IT, and I think it's kind of interesting to do that education, and I'll probably make a lot of money of it. I don't know. Be precise. You have to know what you're striving for. You're not going into the woods without a map, or you're not going into the desert without your water. You have to know why you are doing this, right? So figure out. An answer, for instance, could be, I've always dreamed of becoming a developer. So this is something I'm making my dream come true. I did something else before, but I was always thinking of becoming a developer. That's a very strong motive. So you could also say, I want to open up a new job opportunity for myself. I feel like I'm stuck in whatever I'm doing. I feel like I'm getting really bored. And if I think about I have to do this for another 25 or 30 years, I'm gonna just jump off the roof. It's just too boring. That's a good motive. Or you could say, well, so far it's been a hobby. I've been doing it after work. So I've been doing it in the basement. I've been driving my wife crazy because she said, my God, make some money of it for all the hours you spend down there. So it's important. Narrow it down. Why do you want to become the best, what did I say, front end, back end, whatever, the best developer in Zurich for the program XYZ? This is the first W. Here comes the second W. Who are you doing this for? Not for you. Okay, this is your first impulse. You say, well, I'm doing this for me. Come again. Who are you doing this for? Jürgen Klopp, our master soccer football coach who is now in Liverpool, said in an interview that he truly believes that you will not be able to pull off your best performance and to stay motivated if you don't know who you're doing it for. So what implicates this question is that you are definitely doing it for somebody else. Most people do. Really, it is absolutely normal. So when I ask you again, who are you doing this for? Who do you want to become the best IT developer in Zurich for the program XYZ? Another answer could be, I'm really doing this for me and my girlfriend, or me and my wife, or me and my boyfriend, because we really like traveling a lot, and we have a special taste, and it's usually pretty, it's costly, it's expensive, and I just want to make sure that we have enough money to spend on. Okay, it's a good reason. You could say, I really want to do it for my kids because I want to make sure that when they are 15 or 16 years old and they are growing up with computers and with all different kinds of development, that I can actually help them and help them prepare for the future to get a good future. It's a very strong motive. So you're doing it either for your spouse or you're doing it for your children. You could also say, I want to make my mother proud. That's a strong motive because we always strive for the acceptance and the love of our parents. So if you say, I really want to make my mother proud, so she can say, what a great person I am, that's a very strong motive. On the other way around, you could say, I really want to make my dad proud because he's been nagging on me that I've been not studying economics, that I've been not working in a bank, doing a regular and steady job, but instead sit in front of the computer for 6 or 8 hours every single day, typing in numbers, and he has no clue what I'm doing. So I want to make him proud so he can see that this is actually good for something. All right? So that was the second W. First W was, why do you have that goal? Second W was, who are you doing this for? The third W is, what do I have to do? So, and this is really important because this what do I have to do is really the steps in between. If you have a long-term goal that's either a year away, or even 6 months away, or even 3 years away, whatever, you need to make sure you're reaching or you're accomplishing tasks in between. You need to check up and mark the things that you've accomplished in order to reach that goal. So you actually have to make weekly or daily or monthly. Everybody's different. Doesn't matter. Weekly, daily, or monthly tasks of what you have to accomplish in order to reach the goal of becoming the best developer for the program XYZ in Zurich. It's extremely important because it helps just to mark off what you've accomplished that day or that week or that month in order to get to your goal. And every time you see that you've accomplished something, your motivation will still be on a very high level. If you don't do that, you will have a very good high motivation in the beginning because you're starting and you're curious and everything is new and everything is exciting, but you will lose it. So make sure that you have weekly, daily, monthly tests that you can actually see what you are accomplishing. It's like a little test in between. You know, whenever you have to do tests and you're successful in the test, you go like, yeah, I made that test, but now I can continue going to the next level. So while doing that, in your own personal list, you are checking on your status every time you look on that list. And you can be proud of yourself. And please do, whenever you accomplish something, be proud of yourself. Say, yes, I did it. It's important. It is a positive emotion at this point. Positive recognition of what you have done is extremely important. Nobody else is going to do it for you. So you have to do it for yourself. Be proud of yourself. Also, when I say, what do I have to do? It's also something, and it's got something to do with body, mind, and soul. So in order to either work those double shifts with working on the job and studying, you have to take care of yourself. It's extremely important. And I'm not talking about some spiritual stuff. That can be helpful, but it's not for everybody. What I'm talking about is if you need a good chair in order to be able to sit 6 to 8 hours in front of your computer, go get one. It should be on the list. If you need glasses, like me, when you're working on the computer every day, go get them, all right? It is important for you to feel 100% comfortable when you're starting to work. So if you have back pain, take care of your back. You cannot work with a back that is screaming at you that it is in pain. You can throw pills in from dusk till dawn, but it's not going to help you accomplishing your task. So make sure you take care of it. So maybe meditate. Make sure you take breaks. Your brain needs breaks every 50 minutes, about 5 minutes. Make sure you eat healthy stuff. Yes, you can have coffee. Yes, you can have beer. And yes, you can have sweets, of course. But make sure you also get some other stuff in, veggies, fruit, and all the good stuff. And really do try to, to just tear yourself away, meet friends when it's possible again, and make sure you socialize, because you and your computer, you are such a unit, but you need to break that up once in a while. So that was the third W. What do I have to do? The fourth W is, what do I get out of this? What's in it for me? So this is probably the easiest question and the most fun question. So, what's in it for me if I'm finally the best developer for program XYZ in Zurich? Everybody's got different reasons. You could say, well, I will make so much money that I can retire early. That's a strong reason. I'll go with that one. You could say, I can finally buy the house in Spain, Greece, in the mountains, wherever you want to go, and spend a lot of time there. And another reason could be, I can work as a freelancer. I can pick from the projects that they offer me. I don't have to work for anybody who's an asshole. I can just choose from wherever I want to, and the offers are going to be flying in and on my desk. So you see what I'm getting at. This is a quick, dirty rundown of what motivation is really about. Of course, there's intrinsic and extrinsic motivation that gets more complicated, but we're not going there today. So you really need to, and test it out for a month and see how this works for you. So you really need to determine a goal. Make sure you really feel that goal. All right, it's really got to be yours, not a goal somebody tells you to have. Right? Not your parents, not your friends, not your spouse, not everybody. It's got to be yours. So determine that goal and then ask those questions. Why do I want to have this goal? Ask the second question, who am I doing this for? Ask yourself the third question, what do I have to do in order to accomplish and reach my goal? And then you have the fourth question, what's in it for me when I am finally done? So, and if you just follow that technique, if you could even start doing it for maybe like 10 days, but if you follow that technique for around 10 days, you will see that you will actually stick to your plan. You will check different tasks or weekly goals or daily or monthly goals, as I said. And when you mark them off, you feel the satisfaction that you've actually accomplished something for that day. And this is extremely beneficial for your motivation. Trust me on that. It works 100%. It is really cool. I do that. I have a big board, a big social media board where I have to write down everything that I do every single day because I do so much stuff. And I lose track and I lose motivation because it just sometimes annoys me. But I know it is important to reach my ultimate goal, which I have, of course. And in order not to get demotivated, I'll just keep checking it and checking it and checking it. So, and yes, there will be days when you have no motivation at all. Oh, don't worry about it. Then it's a day when you don't have a motivation. You don't want to work on it today, don't work on it. You know, get back on track. Don't lose this, what do I have to do, right? Don't lose that focus. Stick to the plan, you know, make that focus. And then you'll be ready to go and you'll rock the world and you will reach your goal. So that's it, actually. That's all the information I'm going to give to you today. It's enough. It's a lot. So if you need any more information from me, if you want slides, I have some stuff prepared, but I really didn't want to show it to you. So, you know, contact me on LinkedIn and get in touch and I'll send you everything that you have. If you say like, okay, I can't do this on myself, you can book a session with me, of course. You don't need 10 sessions or whatever of coaching, but if you want to nail it down because you're not able to do it by yourself, we'll do it together. And if you just have a question here and there, you know, just get in touch. Get in touch, call me, email me, write me, whatever you want to do. Get in touch. And we'll see how this goes. So it's at the beginning of the year. We have January 29. So the year is very young and we all have a lot of time. And even during Corona, especially during Corona, set your weekly tasks. Keep going. Don't get distracted. Don't get sidetracked. Don't lose the focus. And you'll be sliding through this year. And, you know, within a few months, we'll be back on track. I'm pretty sure. So that's it. Thank you for joining me. I hope you had fun.
It was fantastic. Like, I'm glued to the screen now. Yeah, and I'm really high motivated. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Actually, I can only tell that this plan works because I'm doing this for 5 years now and it just works fantastically. I even have like my own project planner for my special goals.
Oh, perfect.
With check-ins for the entire year. So yeah, it's interesting. Like you can really set goals as high as you can imagine. And in the beginning, you would think like, I can never reach this goal. And then by the middle of the year, you're done. And then what? And then you're like happy for entire rest 6 months of the year. I don't know.
Whatever. You know.
Yeah, you're lucky that you have achieved it. I see also nice comments in the chat. So one of them is like, so from Michael, thanks, Stephanie. I really like the tips. I found similar tips, especially about planning and setting goals in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People in the book. Yeah. Highly recommended. Do you know this book? Maybe you can recommend some other books.
I don't know that book. It's you know, I have my philosophy is actually linked to an American motivational coach. His name is Brandon Burchard. So if you want to read his books, and he said, you know, there's 6 keys to high performance people, and these high performance people have certain tasks and certain ways how they address their life, the business life, and I follow that. So, but of course. Coaching is not a mystery. So coaching is just something that you are able to wrap the things up that are out there, maybe in a language that suits, another person. So because you have to find somebody who you understand, whose language you kind of understand. So I don't know that specific book, but there's a zillion books out there. And in most of the books, there's really, really good stuff. So find whatever is good for you. So, make sure when you buy a book and when you feel like, okay, this is really stuff I can really work with, then work with it. Don't wait for somebody to tell you, but you should buy this book or you should stick to that study. That's so much better. Do the stuff that you think which is good for you. And if you, Michael, if you can benefit from that book, excellent. Use that.
Fantastic. Yeah, I will need to read to explore this guy like you mentioned.
Brandon Burchard.
Maybe you can send me the link, so I will share it with the audience as well. So we have some more comments, and I think, whoa,
Okay.
Fabio Cortez writes, I did a weekly creative coding project for 120 weeks. It helped me a lot. New job, new friends, new conferences. But after moving out of my country and the pandemic, it has been difficult to keep doing it.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, I totally understand. It is difficult. I mean, it's just no mystery. Corona is a drag for everybody and for all of us, and especially when you're losing touch with the people you usually talk to, because everybody is kind of like in their own bubble and have their own problems, and everybody's got different things that they need to deal with. You kind of like feel like you're isolated from the rest of the world. Exactly in those moments, just when you finished it, now you've studied for so long, 120 weeks. Come on, don't let it go. Stick to that plan. Make that plan. You had a plan when you started doing this for 120 weeks. So what are you going to do with it now? So write it down. What is your goal? Why did you do it? Who are you doing it for? What do you have to do? Make that plan. Make those weekly tasks and stick to it. Because of Corona, as I said, nobody is going to be proud of you but yourself. Nobody is going to say to you, oh, great job. You have to do this, Fabio. It is your job. You have to do this by yourself. So make sure you do that list and make sure you check it off and you high five yourself and you keep going. Put it up, bathroom wall, refrigerator, anywhere. Make sure you look at it every time and make sure you tackle those tasks and you accomplish them. And you'll be getting back on track. Really, it's going to be a tough stretch for like 2 or 3 months, but it is your job to actually get in touch with the other people, and it is your job to fulfill your tasks and not of somebody else. So go make that plan and go follow the 4 W's, and you'll be rocking it. You'll be fine. You'll be okay. If not, call me.
Fantastic. Thank you for your play. I want to mention like where I get motivation from. We have like in our community, we have a speaker. His name is Johnny Burr. And this guy is so awesome. He went jogging like every single day, doesn't matter the conditions. And he filmed like every video and posted it online. So over 5 years, full of running.
Wow.
And so he gave up on this challenge because of Corona. Because he got sick, and in this moment I would like to tell Johnny like well done and respect for all the running and all the motivation you had to do this, and get healthy and come back on track again. We would like to see you on Webzurich again. So
yes,
and
good luck.
Before we wrap up, I would like to say thank you from the audience. Like Livio is writing, awesome talk, great public speaking skills. Thank you so much, very insightful. As well from other guys like Fabio writes, thanks a lot. And also from Mirko, very nice talk. And from me and from Webzurich, also thank you very much. We would like to see you again. So
yes.
Anytime you want to talk, or especially like maybe later come in person, we would like to see you again. So thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. And I think we will wrap up for today. And make sure if you have some ideas and talks, just join us. We have a submission form on the website, and we are always looking forward to new speakers and newcomers in the web field. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Bye-bye. Stay safe.